Prepare for battle.
And against all odds, it looks like we might actually have some Dota to play again today. Yes, you can detect some frustration in my voice. Yes, I'm sure you can detect it all across the G1 today. Has not been the best day for connections and so on and so forth. And it looks to me like Virtus Pro actually had to fall back on stand-ins here. So we're going to have at least two. In fact, let me look. Yeah, it's going to be two. And I'm going to guess it looks like it's going to be Nexius and Medved. So Mouse with a stand-in of their own. Can't say they're going to be too torn up about it if I had to guess. No idea who these guys are. No idea if they're any good. But we will find out. The draft took place a few minutes ago. Kind of lost my train of thought on it. Let's reevaluate a little bit here. I like the fact that Anti-Mage has a safety valve in the Alchemist at the very least. Last time he was too much was placed on Black's shoulders. There was just no way, given how well Virtus Pro was able to play things out, there was really just no way that they were going to be able to a little overkill there, Nexius, but whatever. There was no way that as farmed as he was going to be able to carry all of the water for Mouse. And this time around, going to have the Alchemist to hopefully help him farm. Is this going to be a support Alch? It looks like it is. Yep, that's okay, I guess. It's a throwback to the old days, and has been seeing a lot more play lately. First point of unstable concoction, no surprise to see that. Most likely be taking the same approach we saw last time around, which is an Alchemist that is going to be not just, I mean, he'll be building support items, but he's going to be building items predominantly designed to make himself and his main carry better in Black. And by that, I mean items like a Vlad's, for example, like a Assault Cuirass, and so on and so forth. So far, seeing the way it's going to pan out. KSI, going to be running in the off lane as our Clockwork. And so far hasn't gotten a single point of experience. Now, there is a lot of kill potential here when you're talking about an Alchemist with Unstable Concoction, Bane with Nightmare, and how easy it is for an Animation to pursue you, to just completely take you out of the fight with his mana break. Down here at bottom, though, Sergio going to be free farming on his Night Stalker, and for the moment, looks like the stand-in, Jotum, moving through mid, making his way back down, though, into this concentrated tri-lane. Prophet in the jungle. May as well go ahead and run through our lineup, see who's going to be playing who. Sergio, as mentioned, will be farming our Night Stalker. Rubik going to be handled by Jotum Medved. KSI going to be playing our Clockwork. Puck played in mid by Tame My Wild. And Nexius going to be playing on our Gyrocopter, going to be playing in the support role this time. Wouldn't be surprised to see him transition to something like a semi-carry or off-carry role, and that's what we saw in Game 1 coming out of Virtus Pro. Night Stalker hit 6, and as soon as first night came, he just started bouncing around the map. That freed up farm for the Gyro, and by the end, he was hitting quite hard. On the other side of the river, Black going to be playing our Animage. No surprise to see that. Quokfa playing on our Magnus this time around. Pas going to be farming up the Nature's Prophet. Alex going to be on the support Alchemist, as mentioned, and Bane going to be handled by, his name is DayZ. His name is DayZ, because now whenever I see Cyrillic characters, just because I loved DayZ so much when it first came out, I just can't help but think of Chernaris. That's going to be his name. His name is now Chernaris. But yeah, looking at the way this is going to play itself out, there's a lot of offensive potential on the side of VP, and I got a feeling they're going to want to put it to use sooner rather than later. They have a lot of reach, and I do mean a lot of reach between Puck and between Clockwork. Don't even have to have something like a Blink Dagger on Tame My Wild. It'll certainly help them, but even without it, they're going to be able to engage and really cause a lot of problems for Mouse early on. With the support Alchemist, I mean, he's going to be under-leveled. He is going to go ahead and move now to mid. This is going to be tough to pull off. Tame My Wild is not a bad puck player. He knows how to handle this hero. I've seen him on it a number of times. And with 1 point already into phase shift, as well as the silence, and here we go. They're just going to show their face and go for it. And yeah, that was a gigantic waste. That Chernaris unable to really get the job done there. help behind the tower for Jotum as well. But yeah, Chernaris made his way down. But anyway, he's a very talented puck player. He knows how to handle the hero in a variety of situations. And what he's going to be looking to do, I do believe, is go to work along with Clockwork and Gyro really are going to be the key heroes here. They're going to have some damage output out of the Night Stalker. They're going to have some damage output, just some pure spam abilities. And now we're going to have a Nightmare catching Tame My Wild right on top of the rune. He's got an orb if he wants to throw it. He also has an Invis rune. And yeah, he's just going to throw it, go ahead, jaunt out, and very nice dodge of the Unstable Concoction. He will be skewered out. And there's the Invis rune. Oh, he drops the sentry. And that's enough to get first blood on the board. Just talking good about you, Tame, and all of a sudden you give up first blood. It's all right, though. 4.5 minutes in, Mal's very happy to get first blood on the board. They need to win here or else find themselves very quickly potentially facing elimination from the G-1 Champions League Western Qualifier. They do trail the series 1-0, looking to turn that donut into a breadstick and force a game 3. Again, both teams playing with stand-ins now. 2 on the side of Virtus Pro, and we can see 1 on the side of Mouse, at least for the moment. So, both shorthanded probably means we're going to see a little bit of sloppy Dota, and that's, you know, that's not insulting the quality of play from the stand-ins. It's just reality. Whenever you're talking play at the professional level, it makes a big difference having even just one player that's not used to playing with your squad, let alone having 2. Taking a look at the early last hits, we can see the Anti-Mage sitting at 35 for the Night Stalker as well. Our Prophet is sitting in quite good shape at 32. Puck doing quite a good job as well. Tame with 31. 23 on the mag, so he's having no problem finding his farm either. Then it just falls off as you get into support territory. Now, again, in the mid-game, the reach of Clockwork, if and when he hits 6. So far, he's actually doing a decent job. He's almost level 4 now. First night has come. Now, the question will be what Sergio wants to do with this first night. Looks like he's working on getting himself up a set of treads. He's already got the urn up, and a little bit of movement taking place now. Puck has managed to find himself a haste rune at the very least, so Tame making his way back to mid. Rubik has been moving quite a bit. He will be spotted by this rune. We saw the immediate ping, and he's just going to go ahead and drop down a ward of his own for the moment. A very quiet early game. Not a whole lot to report. Black now finds himself solo against KSI. Looks like he will be going right up to a Battle Fury. Last time he actually went Yasha. Now, though, Tame going to be engaged upon. Pauses there. RP is spent. And Mouse getting the job done. Poss might end up dead here. 2-3 as they do manage to notch another kill. And, wow, he got both of them there. And VP hurting pretty badly. Black laying into the gyrocopter, gets in with the void. Medvet back up. KSI doing what damage he can. It's 1-4. And Black ready to fight. Might get another kill. One more auto. Oh, good coil! Right on time! He was in the attack animation. And this Clockwork, KSI, you would be better buying this dude a beer. That coil right in the middle of the attack animation with the mini stun, enough to keep him alive as he ducked into the trees. So Chernaris now counterwarding a little bit. 2-4 as the dust settles, so Virtus Pro makes their way onto the board. And the Night Stalker does look to be taking a bit of an active role, at least for the moment. He is back at the well. Want to see where he's going to wind up next. Almost level 6 on the Clockwork, actually just past 5, so still has a little bit of ways to go. Quagfa still hanging out in mid. He's got his arcane boons up. It looks like Chernaris and Alex want to start moving around a bit themselves. Next season, yeah, this is exactly what we saw at a VP last time. Start out with the support gyro, then just get as much as you can out of the Night Stalker after the initial first day of farm. And Clockwork going to eat a Nightmare. This is bad news. Gets the cogs down, not going to dive it. That does force a TP reaction, though. That's going to be Jiltum landing in. And Puck actually just managed to solo... Oh, no, he didn't. I was going to say solo kill Magnus. Sergio was there to help out. I'm sure maybe a silence had something to do with that Mag dying. Either way, Virtus.pro fighting back and fighting back in a big way. What I was going to say was the fact that they did this last time. Just count on Night Stalker getting work done with the early farm. Earn plus treads at 9 minutes is just fine for him. And then rotate the gyro in and make sure he's ready to peak and ready to do damage in the mid game. Sergio and Jota making their way up to top now. And the TP coming in from the back, that's going to be tamed. Yeah, they're just going to go for this. And this makes a lot of sense. Nexius lands in as well. And Mouse, with help on the way, it needs to get here real soon, as this is an official 5 push. Everyone's disappeared off the map. And Black with the Treants. Yeah, they're in position here. They're ready to roll if and when. There's only one missing. That's Chernaris. He may need the TP in. And we're going to see how much they want to commit to this. Clockwork is level 6, a fresh 6, so he's going to have his hook. And the Treant's doing some pretty decent spawning here. The warding very good out of bounds. And VP going to be forced back at least to reconnoiter a bit. Get a grasp of what they're up against as well. By now they should know that almost everyone is here. Corkfoot going to spot out KSI. KSI makes it to the high ground. He's in no man's land. And going to go ahead and engage on the post, and here we go. Corks are going to go down. There's a really good coil followed up with the orb, and now the magic damage. 2 are down already for Mouse. RP looking for a target, not going to use it. He falls back with Black. In the meantime, the rest of VP standing and fighting. We're going to see an RP now go off on Sergio. Paw still might end up dead, and he will. Sergio's going to be able to outrun him. Heard the Mana Void as Black engaged. Looks like they got the gyro and no one else. Rubik likely to die, but Black's not in the best of shape here and uses his wand charges. Tame My Wild will be able to retreat. 6-6 as the dust settles. That's a win for Virtus.pro all around. And Sergio may just go to engage on Black. He's got a silence, not because he's going to back out. Makes a good amount of sense. So putting pressure on and coming out ahead in that engagement. Black still at least 1,000 gold or more away from getting up his Battle Fury right now. Sergio's got a decent trust fund working in his own bank. We'll take a look at the gold following that engagement. We can see it's in the favor of Mouse, but severely cut down from where it was just 5 minutes ago. The experience in the midst of a big swing up. Big swing up, not because, I mean, it's not, yeah, it's basically even now, but it was 1,500 to the advantage of Mouse before that fight. Now they're joining up again. And this is pretty wise of VP, I think. Playing with 2 stand-ins, really hard to have that map presence, that all-around excellent movement whenever you're playing with stand-ins. Not to insult the talent or the abilities of the other players standing in for VP, but it's just reality. So instead of worrying about that, just push towers, just 5-on-5 Dota, and count on your ability and your raw talent instead of your communication to get the job for you. So it will be 1-for-1 traded. Tier 1 top traded for Tier 1 mid. 6-6, the towers are currently even across the board. And now just a matter, like, I really feel like VP's under the gun to execute here. And I mean, that's no surprise. When you have an anti-mage on the board, you can't really afford to sit back and play passively. They do have some comfort in the gyrocopter. Gyro in and of himself is going to be very relevant for quite some time. He's got himself his treads. Prophet did go ahead and pick himself up a Midas. And we'll see what he wants to do next. Treads are waiting back at base more or less for him as soon as he wants them. But this is just going to be one of those matches I suspect is going to be a slugfest. It's going to be slugfest, then minutes of downtime. It's slugfest, then minutes of downtime, and over and over and over again, if I had to guess. And we're seeing that now. We saw a lot of action at top, and now we're seeing both teams settle out, try to farm themselves some key items. It's daytime for the Night Stalker as well. He's going to be getting an Ags once again. This was the option that Sergio went in game number 1. It worked out very well for them, allows him to be very, very aggressive at night, having all of that vision. Black's farm is good, but it's actually the Prophet who has the phenomenal farm right now. Paw sitting on Treads, Bassi, and Midas up at 13 and a half minutes in. has just farmed phenomenally. You look at the kills and deaths, Black's off to a great start there. He's 3-0, 2-0 on the Night Stalker, 2-2 on our Gyrocopter. Gold graph tells us, still in favor of Mouse, the experience in their favor as well, 1,500 and 1,000, give or take, the gold and experience lead respectively. Now, Jotum rotating his way down the bottom. Another long period of quiet. Mag's not far from the Blink Dagger. Very important item for him, obviously. Have it in about 600 gold, give or take. Chernaris. Not much to report. Black is actually going to get the same build he did last time. He's got the Ring of Hell, so he will most likely get a Battle Fury at some point. But this approach worked out fairly well for him in game number 1. They didn't win, but he was where he needed to be as much as he possibly could be. He's got 65 last hits in 14 minutes. That's not the best in history, so he is a little bit behind in that regard. But he's still near the top anyway. Night Stalker just a little bit ahead of him. But Night Stalker is also only about 1,000 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. So having that up in and of itself, a pretty big deal. And we can see Nexius doing the wise thing on the gyro, just stacking up this hard camp. He'll probably go heal up, then look to come back and clean it out with Flak Cannon. And the more that Virtus Pro does this, the better shape they're going to be in. Pressure Black, and now the coil's going to go down. Now the silence is out. Follow up from the orb. Can they get there in time? Magnus is there, thinks about spinning the RP. Now he's going to be telekinesis. Drop back down. KSI's there, but so is the Alchemist. The cogs go down, catching a couple of bounces. Black now the target. He's going to be able to blink away, though. They managed to clean up the Rubik basically for free. A lot of damage was done, but Virtus Pro unable to follow through. And another set of cogs goes down. Nightmare on him, though. And RP's there if they want it. Don't think they need it. Shockwave dodged out. Black playing some YOLO Dota. But I guess it's easy to do that when you got a whole team with you. So they end up getting 2 kills for nothing. And now lead 8-0. Or, yeah, 8-0. 8-6. But Sergio, again, has continued to just farm himself up. He's in good shape, sitting at 75 at 16 minutes in. And now we're seeing Gyro clean out this stack. And so long as he can transition to being a solid carry, right around 20 minutes, he'll be okay. He doesn't need to be doing crazy amounts of right-click. He just needs to be able to fight. Now we're going to have another skewer on Sergio. And he should be cleaned up pretty easily and will be. Tier 1 bottom, in the meantime, was denied. So Mal's taking control of the game quite effectively. Still just about 2,500 gold to their favor. 3,000 experience, though. So the game generally moving in their favor. KSI drops the cogs to try and buy him and his team a little bit of time. Black's actually going to hook up for this push. And KSI spotted out in the woods. He's going to be skewered back out. Really well played there by Quagfa. And this is beginning to get a little bit ugly. Nice phase shift by Tame My Wild. Oh, good coil. And Black just goes for it. Now Pos TP's in. Phase shifts out of that auto attack. Tame showing off the puck skills, but man avoid enough to clean him up. Here comes Bane. Gets off the Nightmare. Pos might be in trouble. Alex is right behind him, though. They managed to get the tier 1, and now, as aggressive as they're playing, they're going to be cleaned up. At least forced out, if nothing else. Night Stalker not going to be able to find anyone else, at least not for the moment. 7-11. We're 17, almost 18 minutes into this game. Taking a look at Night. If he stands still, Night Stalker, again, very close to that Aghanim Scepter. On the clockwork, looks like he wants to get himself up a Hood of Defiance. Nice, effective way to tank up. Gyrocopter went ahead and one-shot bought a set of drums. Makes a ton of sense for him. Gives him a little bit more survivability. Lets him be a bigger factor in a lot of these fights. In terms of just pure efficiency, how much you actually get for the gold, drums, an excellent item for a gyro. There's another skewer on KSI right into a Fiend's Grip. And he will be cleaned up. So Mal's making it look easy so far, just continuing to build that lead. It will be a Shadow Blade pickup on Pos. Not going to get the mech first. Interesting choice. Black going to be going with that Manta. First build. Now laying into the tier 1 top. It will be glyphed. We'll see how quick they are to try and do something about it. They're slowly moving their way there. Black forced to back off the tower once again. Taking a look at Pos, or Qualifier I should say, has picked up his Blink Dagger, so their reach gonna be there as well. Virtus Pro, I mean, they started out looking good. They had a few good engagements, but this lineup already beginning to fall apart a bit, which I don't think is a surprise to much of anyone, given they're playing with 2 stand-ins. Shadowblade is going to be done on Pos. He's by himself, just free farming, basically. Mag and the Alchemist now making their way to the south. And another downtime, another moment of downtime. And this is kind of what I predicted. We'll have action in spurts, then downtime in spurts, then action in spurts, then downtime in spurts.
Middle tower is under attack.
Black, only about 200 gold from his ultimate orb. That in itself, very good just to tank him up if he wants to continue to fight or wants to continue to defend. They've actually just left Pos alone almost completely down here. And they have smoked up in the meantime, moving as a 5-man raiding party through the dire side jungle. No targets to find until they get to mid. But then they'll be up under the towers. And Pos is actually forced off by his own nervousness, his own worry that someone is watching. Mouse checking the Roche pit. Not going to find anything as Virtus Pro now finally spots out Chernaris. RP not going to be spent. There's a hook going to land. Now they're going to catch him in the cogs. Alchemist, though, doing a lot of damage, and Mouse just beginning to feel way too far ahead. Rubik's going to be cleaned up. That's a 3-for-0 trade. And this should be a 100% free Roshan.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
21 minutes in, all Mouse all the time. Getting near 7,500 gold lead. You can see, even though it doesn't look, yeah, now it's beginning to spread itself out. 7,500 the experience lead as well. So 20 minutes, this game simply could not be going better for Mousesports. Anti-Mage will pick that up. Now we'll see what Black wants to do with it. And Aegis at this point, if he wants to just farm with it, he certainly can. Or they could try to push. Only 2 tier 1s down so far. Both teams, and again, just falling back, taking it easy. Tame My Wild, at the very least, has completed his Blink Dagger. Jotum, relatively bare. Shadowblade now done on Pos, but at this point, Mouse has no reason to do anything but team fight. They've built themselves such a lead that there's no reason to allow Virtus Pro to do anything but sit under their towers and wait for pushes. Pos split pushing. In the meantime, looks like Virtus Pro wants to go ahead and try to apply some pressure of their own here to this mid tower. TPs will be coming in, and that's going to be a Magnus under cover of smoke. He's going to look for a good target, and there's Alex caught out. RP saves him, though. Sergio locked in. Hook's going to catch Chernaris. Now the Skewer back up under the tier 2. Alchemist actually ends up dead, and Bane going to be killed off as well. Coil catches Pos. Black's there. Pos will be cleaned up, but Black not giving up the ghost. Has his Manta style complete. And Nexius forced off. And yeah, Mal's able to get a couple of payback kills. 10-17. And looks like they're ready to roll. Actually a little surprised. That should have gone a lot better for them. Alchemist shouldn't have died. He turned to try and fight when he had no health for no real reason. And died because of it. And Tame My Wild trying to take it down backdoor style. Speaking of taking it down, Anti-Mage manages to bring down the tier 1 top. And Tame still hanging out near the jungle. We're going to have the silence on Mag, but with Chernaris there, they're able to deny it quite easily. Gyro on his way to a BKB. He's got an Ogre Club. He's about 1,300 gold away from the Mithril Hammer and so on and so forth. Looks like that's what Korkfell wants as well. Looking to snag a BKB. right now, Virtus Pro needs to be feeling aggressive. Again, they drafted a team that, I mean, Gyro's late game is good, but it's, you know, he's going to get blown up by an Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is one of the few heroes in the entire game that can just tunnel vision a Gyro super effectively. The way you tend to think of it is like, oh, okay, Gyro has insane range on his flat cannon, so we just have to put a meat shield in front of him and keep him back and safe, but Anti-Mage can just blink past the meat shield and go right after him. So this is definitely a game that Virtus Pro wants to execute the mid-game. But we can see that now, as they've smoked up, watching Sergio give the old end around, just trying to find a target. Black continues to farm, though. He's already got 2,000 gold. And we'll have his Battle Fury in another couple hundred. Poss will be getting himself an Orchid Malevolence this time around, which makes a ton of sense. Always makes a ton of sense, really. Very rarely is it a bad time for Orchid. The bonus damage and the silence combined, always excellent. Scythe of Ice, as excellent as it is, does not give you bonus damage. (10 to 17), 25 minutes into the game, and both teams taking their time, feeling each other out considerably. Almost 10,000 gold to the advantage of Virtus Pro, in excess of 10,000 experience moving their direction. And Black just really not caring to be harassed now. We can just see they're all beginning to hang together. And I'm actually surprised that Virtus Pro is willing to hang out with just these two like this. This is a very, very tenuous situation for them. Very easy to get caught by a skewer, by an RP, and what have you. They are going to fall back, and looks like Mouse wants to take that as their indication that it's time to push. Black eating the void, now blinking backwards. And here we go. They're going to engage. Unstable Concoction has been unbottled. There's the RP. Going to catch a couple. Going to catch one, actually. Call down's there. Lots of damage. Mana Void to follow it up. Aegis is gone. That's a 3-for-1 trade going the way of VP. Fiend's Grip has Nexius locked down, but Chernaris, even with Brain Sap, not going to be able to survive. And almost there to save them, but Black just laying into them. And that's a triple kill now for Black. Every time it looks like Virtus Pro has a chance, just kind of falls apart for them. And Black, able to wipe the slate clean, takes out the entire squad of VP. They're going to get themselves a tier 2 now. And Black's quickly going to reach a point where he's just uncontainable, basically. He's already got 2,200 gold back in the bank. He's got Manta, BKB, and now hooking up with Poss to go ahead and pressure this tier 2 top.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
KSI. Gonna rattle his own saber a little bit. Damage still done, though. About a quarter health left on that tower. Prophet, in the meantime, has completed his Orchid. So the ability to particularly lock down Puck, just having that silence for Puck, and even if you don't use it on anyone else, making sure that if he blinks in and goes for a coil, you have an answer that he cannot get away from. That in and of itself is oftentimes worth it. Also going to help with just his flat-out point gain, as well as his right-click gain. Taking a look at the supports, we'll bring up our item chart and look. We can see that Alex did opt to go ahead and grab himself a medallion. Not a huge surprise there. Looks like Chernaris actually wants to get himself a BKB. Poss was moving in that direction, thought better of it. And Korkva on his way to a BKB as well. Now Cogs are going to go down. KSI engaging on the Chernaris. And Tiamat Wow going to get the silence off. Waning Rift doing good damage. KSI might be in trouble, though, and will be, as Black is able to clean him up. And now going to blink across the way. Nexius being focus fired down. Black trying to pursue him. In the meantime, yep, Mana Void enough to clean him up. Black not done yet. 24 to 15. And Black should... Oh, wow. There we go. Managed to get the kill. Alex and Tame My Wild going back and forth a bit. Jaunt gonna get him to safety momentarily, but here comes the unstable concoction. And Black's just not giving it up. Deny from Puck on that at the very least. 16 to 25 following the action. Game very much in favor of Mouse. And Black finally able to get to lock down the Puck, take him off the map. They may honestly, and he's just playing deathmatch mode right now, basically. Chasing the Rubik, having stolen his blink, though. Making it more than a little bit difficult. And I'm really racking my brain for VP. At this point, though, they're just so far behind, and they don't have any heroes that can really keep up with Animage at this point. I mean, the Gyrocopter may be a forlorn hope, and he is going to be getting himself a halberd, it would seem. I mean, he could go something like an S&Y if he really wants to. Not sold on how decent that would be for the cost in relation to what the big problem is going to be. But hey, better than just the Sand, right? Get the S&Y up, little movement speed, so on and so forth. That'll certainly help. Mech the pickup on Alex. So they've got the ability to push. Even better than before. 3,000 gold in the inventory of Poss, so he's continuing to make progress. Take a look at the net worth. We can see the tops on the board are the Prophet, as well as Black. In fact, Black is more than doubling up the highest farmer on the other team. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, what can you do? You don't have anyone who can catch him. Even if they lose fight after fight after fight, he's still going to be able to get a full inventory because of how far ahead he is. And Black just continuing to farm, at least for now. I mean, they need to go take a fight, but it's much easier said than done. And by they, I mean VP. Engaging on Mouse's terms really not going to help them out in any measurable way. They have a decent team for defending the base. Cogs are very annoying to push into. If not, aren't completely an all-and-out impossible. Call down's the exact same thing. But Mouse, not really too worried about it. Move into the Roche pit. Not going to be contested at all. And Black will get that Aegis, so wouldn't be surprised to see them just go clear off the last remaining outer tier tower. That's going to be the bottom tier 2. And as they make their way through the Radiant jungle, no surprise at all to report. And I don't even know how VP can defend this, really. They're just so outclassed. You look at the levels. Level 22 on Black, okay? I mean, that alone. It's 32 minutes in and he's level 22. There's just not a lot you're going to be able to do in the face of that. And again, more than doubling the next highest farmer on the board. He can just about out-damage backdoor protection. He can face tank the tower. He's got himself his heart up now. So all he has to do is leave a fight, suck his thumb, and come back 30 seconds later ready to fight again. And there's a long-range hook that's going to connect, going to look to catch one. KSI going to be skewered out. RP spin as well. Bit of a waste, but with Tame My Wild silenced out by Prophet, not a lot of ways to change it up, but Rubik stole the RP. Don't think it's going to be enough. Too little, too late. Very nice effort from him at the very least. And yeah, Sergio cleaned up. That's a triple kill for Mouse. That's an ultra kill for Black. And yeah, that's going to be all she wrote. All over but crying. Virtus Pro gonna be pushed to a game 3. Surprised the GGs haven't come out, but hey, whatever. And I like this decision for Mouse. Well, don't romance it. Roshan is up, says Tame My Wild. And down we go. So 33 minutes, a game that was every bit Mousesports. And this is the unfortunate truth. The team who was in the best shape, missing 2 players, and having to have 2 stand-ins take over, they suffer immensely. They rolled in game 1 and got rolled here in game number 2. Animage finished as 16-0-7. As handled by Black. Poss 7-4-15. He didn't do bad either. What can you say? 695 gold per minute for Anti-Mage, 885 XP per minute. Going to a game 3 here in our second best of 3 series in the Western Qualifier. Virtus Pro and Mouse going the distance with the chance to advance to Phase 2 here in the G-1 Champions League. I'm AC. You're watching One More Game TV2. Hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure you hit follow. If you haven't already, you can come back for all of your G1 Western Qualifier needs and desires, and of course all the other action we have going on here any day of the week. Go ahead and pop that winner's bracket up for you one more time. Winner of this will advance to take on Alliance, the squad formerly known as No Tide Hunter. And there is a loser's bracket. It's not represented on that bracket. So the team dropping down, not the end of the world, but still want to fight your way deeper and deeper if you can. We'll be right back here in just a minute. See you guys soon.